Hey everybody, and welcome to my mount up review series where I review mount up sets made by the company Blacktech. And today we're going to be taking a look at the Swift Sting Scorpion. There's also 3 other mounts in this wave. They are the Stealthwing Manta Ray, the Fireborn Dragon, and the Crystal Fist Cave Troll. I'll be reviewing these 3 mounts sometime in the future, so be sure to subscribe so you don't miss it. The Swift Sting Scorpion comes with 177 pieces, 1 rider, 6 weapons, and is recommended for ages 8 and up. And we're going to kick things off by looking at the rider that comes in this set. And overall, I don't necessarily mind the look and design of these Blacktech figures. And while they're not as detailed or as high quality as, say, LEGO minifigures, I do think they have their own charm in some way. As we turn the figure around to the back here, you can see there's no printed detail at all. I've reviewed a couple of these mount-up sets so far here on my channel, and none of them have had printed detail on the back, so this isn't a surprise at all. The printed detail that is on the figure I do like, however, and it corresponds with the Scorpion that comes in this set. For example, you can see a little scorpion print on his mask there. This set comes with 6 weapons for the minifigure to wield, and they're the exact same weapons that have come in the other mount-up sets, so I'm building up quite the collection of these. Now that we're done talking about the rider, we can talk about the main build for this set, which is the Swift Sting Scorpion itself. And overall, I feel like the Scorpion has a rather simple design, but I think it is executed well. Taking a little bit of a closer look at the Scorpion, you can see that it has 2 different shades of green to kind of correspond with each other. There's also some tan and black mixed in, and I think it's got a relatively good color palette. The Scorpion also has some pretty good articulation. I'm going to take it and turn it to the front here, and we're going to start moving its 2 front claws. The base of the arm, there's a ball joint which allows for some pretty good articulation, and then halfway through the arm in that middle joint is a hinge that allows for the claw to be moved back and forth. And then there's another hinge that allows for the claw to open and close. The 2 front claws are built exactly the same, so the other arm has the exact same articulation and range of motion and posability. And I think that's where the Scorpion really shines in its design. The next set of legs behind the claws of the Scorpion are rather small, but they feel really solid. The base is on a ball joint, and then the little claw at the end there is on a hinge, so you can move it up and down if you want to. And again, both of these legs are designed exactly the same, so they have the exact same articulation and range of motion. But the thing that I find most impressive about this Scorpion is just how solid the build feels. I've reviewed a couple of these mount-up sets on my channel so far, and all of them have had some kind of piece that likes to pop off relatively easy, but I'm happy to say that the Scorpion doesn't seem to have this issue. The remaining 6 legs of the Scorpion are rather long in design, but they have 2 ball joints, one at the base and then one in the middle. So of course you can take the base of these legs and move them up and down, and then in the middle they can also be moved up and down as well. At the end of the leg is another one of those little claws on a hinge, which we've seen on the other extremities so far. And again, I cannot stress this enough, these legs feel really solid. I'm moving them around and I don't feel like they're going to break or pop off. Which is something I want to shout out Blacktech for, because I've reviewed a couple of these other sets on my channel and they always had pieces that would pop off throughout the review. I still have a couple of mounts to review here on my channel, so hopefully those will be just as solid as the Scorpion. Now we're going to be taking a look at the tail of the Scorpion, which is also decked out on ball joints, which allows for some pretty good articulation and range of motion. And that brings me to my one critique of the set, which is the stinger of the Scorpion. The stinger is placed well inside the tail, so it's not going to pop off, but as you can see when I'm moving it around, it likes to rotate and swing. It's not necessarily a big deal, but it would have been nice to have the stinger in a more solid position. The last thing I like to mention about these reviews is the name brand for this series. Can the rider actually mount the creature he comes with? And I'm happy to say that with the design of the Scorpion, there are some studs on the head and back of this creature. And again, while this seems like a simple inclusion, it is something that I have seen lacking in other mount-up sets before. But I'm happy to see that this feature is actually incorporated here into the Scorpion, and quite well if I might add. I got the set for $5 at the store 5 below, and I think it is absolutely worth that price. This is my favorite mount-up set that I've reviewed so far to date. The build is more solid than the other mounts I've reviewed so far, and the character has some studs to sit onto the back of the Scorpion. I want to thank you so much for watching my review, and be sure to like the video and subscribe to my channel for future brick built content and reviews.